Hello. I don't know how it's going to come out, but I am sporting a rather nice black eye, which I hasten to add I didn't get doing yoga or practicing yoga, like cutting down trees. Good advice is get a tree surgeon in. Okay, going to start standing up. This is another flow. I really like this one. Some elements in this, really good for the body. Hip flexors, hamstrings, lower back, all that stuff. What you need, the flexibility, upper back, shoulder complex, improving our posture. And this is a really nice way to warm up. Okay, I don't often teach this. It's quite difficult to articulate what the movement is. I'll show you what the movement is. Okay, it looks something like this. It's a form of marching. There's a little bit more going on here. We'll do it both sides. So with this, we move on the breath out, the exhale. The reason that is because when we breathe out, diaphragm comes up, as we know, we can draw our core in. The things to watch for in this movement is just the hips and the shoulder complex moving. The core stays rigid, the pelvis stays rigid. Pelvis doesn't rock forwards and backwards. That's why you pull your core in. So the starting position would be right hand up, left foot back, toes resting on the floor, reach up with the right hand and the left hand back. Inhale here on an exhale. Inhale here on an exhale. So all the movement is with the breath in. Pull the core in when you move. Try to maintain that nice, strong grounding sensation. Try to keep the core contraction throughout, so the pelvis doesn't roll forwards, backwards. The movement's coming out with the femur, top of the femur in the socket, in the hip socket, and the movement is coming through the shoulder complex. Flexion, extension, okay? Almost like a train. You may take a few goes to get used to it, familiarize with it, the technique. If you're doing it right and you're engaging your core, do about a dozen or so of those. Depending on your level of fitness, you'll feel somewhat out of breath, heart rate's rising, and you'll feel that core engagement. So we go on the other foot. So again, assuming the position, take in the right foot back on the toes, that gives you that stability. And then you lift the other arm up. And so on. So you get that squeeze on the exhale in your core, and that's all it takes, a squeeze on the exhale, keep the movement going, nice and metronomic, nice and smooth, good strong balance, and stable through the core, okay? Great all body warm up. Come to the top of your mats now, find mountain pose, feet hip width apart, lift the toes, open the fingers, broaden the toes, open the toes, plant the feet down. With a breath in, lift the hands up nice and high. With a breath out, bend the knees, bend knee forward bend, hands on shin. Breath in, half lift here, lengthening through the back as you bring the crown of the head forwards and the legs are straight. Breath out, bend the knees, hands to the floor. Walk the feet to the back of the mat. Breath in through to plank. Breath out, knees, chest, chin, tops of feet on the floor. Breath in, cobra. Breath out to the floor. Breath in up onto your knees. Breath out back into child. Breath into tabletop. Continue the movement with the right arm up to the side of the head. Left leg long. Balancing cat. Breath out back to tabletop. Continue the movement back to child. Breath in tabletop. Left arm up to the side of the head as the right leg lifts. Balancing cat. Breath out back to tabletop and into child. Carry on with that. So breath in tabletop. Right arm. Left leg. Breath out, tabletop, child. Breath in, tabletop, balancing cat. Breath out, tabletop, child. Breath in to tabletop, tuck the toes in, send the hips back, push up and back into downward dog, head of the legs out here. Inhale in through to plank, shoulders on wrists. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Look up between the hands, bend the knees, walk to the top of the mat. Bend the knees, drop the bum down, draw the arms behind you out to the side. Start to lift your head up, start to look forward and up as you draw the arms up into tabletop, straightening up the legs. Exhale the hands down. Inhale the hands up, bend the knees. Exhale, hands to shins. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, bend the knees, hands to the floor. Step the right foot to the back of the mat into lunge and inhale as you draw the chest forward, lengthening out through that right leg, looking forwards. Dropping the right knee to the floor, push into the left foot, push up, pull your body, tummy in here, lift the hands up, high crescent moon lunge, lean in, taking a couple of breaths here. Breath in, hands to the floor. Lifting that right knee off of the mat, step back to plank. Okay, take a breath in here, and then exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale into cobra. Breath out to the floor. Push up onto your knees, tuck your toes in, send the hips back. Lift into downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, downward dog. If you miss any of these out, if you want to stay in dog, that's fine. Look up between the hands, bend the knees, walk to the top of the mat. Bend knee forward, bend. Drop the bum down, draw the arms behind you, out to the side, slowly start elevating the head, looking forwards, reaching hands all the way around and up through chest, straight up, mountain, drop the hands down. Inhale the hands up. Bend the knees, hands down onto your shins. Breath in for a half lift. Breath out, bend the knees, hands to the floor. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. And then bend it through the right knee. Inhale as you come forwards, bringing the chest forwards, lengthen out through that left leg. Drop the left knee to the floor. And push into that right foot as you push up, drawing your core in. Inhale the hands up. Crescent moon lunge here. As you lean in, bending through that front knee, keeping your core engaged. Taking a few breaths here. Breath in and then exhale the hands to the floor. Tucking the left toes in, lift the left knee off of the mat. Step back to plank. Breath in here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Breath out to the floor. Tuck toes in, push up into your knees and lift up, hips high, heels down, downward dog. Inhale the left leg nice and high, come up onto the toes of the right foot. As you exhale, bring the left knee up towards the chest, staying on the toes of the right foot. Inhale, lift up, three-legged dog. Exhale down. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. On the toes of the left foot, exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lift up, three-legged dog. Exhale down. Look up between the hands on your toes, walk slowly to the top of the mat. Bent knee forward, bend, and then take a ragdoll here. Grab hold of elbows with opposite hands. Rock from side to side, forwards and backwards. Feel that stretch, the upper back, the shoulders. Drop the hands, let the arms dangle, pull the tummy button in. Slowly roll to mountain. Breath in, hands lift. Breath out, maybe a straight leg forward bend or bend the knees if it's still quite sensitive in the lower back. And forwards, hands on shins, half lift. Weight comes forward on the front of the feet, nice and flat through the back, bend the knees, hands to the floor. Stepping the right foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, bring the chest forwards again, lengthen out through that right leg. Dropping the right knee to the floor. Push into the floor with your left foot as you drive yourself up. Drawing the arms up, palms come together. Draw your core in and lean into this lunge. Really working those hip flexors. Taking a few breaths here, looking straight ahead. Soften your shoulders, really firm in your core and feeling the tension through the hips. Breath in here. This time, sweep the hands forwards and back behind you like airplane wings. Lowering your chest towards your thigh. Reach your arms up. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together. And inhale the hands up. Exhale to the floor. Lift your right knee off of the mat. Step back, downward dog. Inhale through to plank. And then exhale to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to the ground. Push up onto your knees in tabletop and step the right foot to the top of the mat. Push down into that right foot, come upright. Inhale the hands up, pulling the tummy button in. Exhale, lean into this crescent moon lunge. Taking a few breaths here. Core in, soften the shoulders, breath is nice and smooth. Feeling the work going on in the body and sensing, feeling those sensations. Breath in here, sweep the hands forward and behind you. Let the chest come towards the thighs. You lift those arms up. And then drop the hands to the floor. Okay, tuck in your back toes and your left toes and lift your left knee off of the mat. Push heavily down into your right foot and come up into a high lunge. Establishing this posture. So draw your core in, solar plexus up. Reach the hands up nice and high. Looking straight ahead. Right knee points over right toes, dropping in. Pushing into that back heel, lifting that back knee off of the mat. Drop the hands behind you, interlace the hands behind you. Drive those arms back nice and straight as the chest opens, lifts open, stretches. Breath in here. On an exhale, lunge dip. Breath in, lift up. Exhale, lunge dip. Breath in, lift up. Lunge dip. Hold in here. And then lean in, taking your body right over towards that front leg as you lift your arms up. Feeling the power in this posture. Release your hands to the floor. Rotate your left heel back. And then drive down through the front foot as you windmill up to warrior two almost. So your right arm in front, your left hand behind. Fingers pointing forwards. Drop in and then extend that left arm back. So the palm is up. The left arm, hand behind you, palm is up. Right hand right in front of you, palm is down. Taking your left arm into the small of the back. Turn your right palm up and lift up for peaceful warrior. Reaching up, open up through the front of the body. Breath in here. On the breath out, come all the way to side angle. So back to warrior. Forearm on the thigh or the hand on the inside as you draw that top arm forwards and breathe here. Down to the floor. Lift the back heel, floating that left hand to the floor, and then take the right hand to the floor. Step back into downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to the ground. Push up onto your knees. Sit back into child. Inhale to tabletop. Continue the movement. Right hand, left leg, balancing cat. Exhale, tabletop, child. Inhale, tabletop, balancing cat. Left arm, right foot. Exhale, tabletop, child. We go again. So inhale, tabletop, right hand, left leg, balancing cat. Exhale, tabletop, child. Inhale, tabletop, balancing cat. Exhale, tabletop, child. Looking up between the hands, come up into tabletop, step the left foot to the top of the mat. Tucking the toes in, lift the right knee off of the mat. Push into that left foot, come up to a high lunge. Draw your core in, lift that back knee, and make sure your left knee points over your left toes. Inhale your hands up. And then drop the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers, drive the arms back as the chest expands. Breath in here. Exhale, lunge dip. Inhale, lift. Lunge dip, keeping those arms going backwards. Inhale up. A lunge dip. Inhale up. And then start to lean forwards over the front thigh as you draw those arms up behind you. Feeling the pressure going down into that front foot. Breathing steadily, breathing softly, dealing with this tension. Release your hands to the floor. Rotate that back foot down. Push heavily into your front foot. Windmill to warrior two. Your left arm forwards, your right arm up behind you, fingers point forwards, then extend through your back arm. So your right arm home behind you, palm is up. Left arm, palm down in front of you. So taking your right arm into the small of the back, turn your left palm up. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Reaching up, expanding through the front of the body. Breathing nice and softly here. Breath in and then come all the way back for side angle. So forearm on thigh. We'll take the hand towards the inside of your front leg, bringing that right arm up and forwards. Feel that stretch through the side of the body. Reaching, lengthening and extending, looking up. Down at the floor. Lift your back heel so you can gently float your right hand to the floor. Left hand comes to the floor. Low lunge. Push into the mat with the hands. And step back. This time downward dog. Pedal out the legs here. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to the floor. Inhale up onto your knees. Exhale, child. Inhale, tabletop. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Tuck the left toes in. Lift the left knee off of the mat. And then push down, drive up into a high lunge. Lift the hands up nice and high. Breath in here. Exhale, the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, chest lift, arms go back. And then exhale, bend the knees, lunge dip. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lunge dip. Keeping those arms pushing away from the body. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lunge dip. This keeps your body upright. Inhale, release the hands, lift hands up nice and high. Exhale, twist to the right. Taking the arms out shoulder height, looking to the right. And breathe here. Inhale, turn to the front. Round the back heel. Exhale, warrior two. Breath in, reverse warrior. Lifting that back heel on the breath out, windmill down to lunge. Hands ground to the floor. When you're in low lunge now, I'm going to step that front foot back into three-legged dog. So push into the mat with hands. Step and lift, three-legged dog. And breath out, downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or to the ground with control. Breath in cobra or high cobra. Breath out to the floor. Tuck your toes in. Push up onto your knees or into plank. And then drop your right knee to the floor. And step the left foot to the top of the mat. Tuck the right toes in. Lift the right knee away from the floor. Low lunge. Push heavily into that front foot. Come all the way up. High lunge. Inhale the hands up. Exhale the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Drive the arms back. Breath in here. Exhale, lunge dip. Inhale, lift. Lunge dip. Making sure those arms go back, keeping your torso vertical. Inhale. Lunge dip. Inhale, release the hands, lift the hands up. And then exhale, lunge twist. All the way around to the left. Reach and extend in the arms. Taking a breath or two here. Inhale, turn to the front, ground the back heel. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lifting the back heel, windmill all the way down low lunge. Your low lunge, hands grounded on the floor, stepping that right foot back, three-legged dog. Exhale that foot to the floor. Inhale through to plank. Exhale to the floor, knees, chest, chin, or slow release to the floor. Hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Drive the arms back and inhale into locust and breathe here. Keeping the tops of your feet on the floor, but driving the arms down the back. Lifting the chest off of the back, feeling the effort going on in the lower back. And breathing slowly. And release, hands either side of the ribs, elbows tuck in. Push up on your knees, take your knees up to the edges of the mat, sit back into extended child. Drawing the hips back, finding that space in your back. Lift your head up, look up between the hands, come up onto your knees, bring your knees hip width apart, step the right foot to the top of the mat. Inch the back knee, the left knee backwards a little bit, push into your right foot, come to an upright position. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, lean into the lunge. And take a lunge twist, bring your hands to your chest and twist to the right, taking your left elbow towards your right knee and looking back towards your right shoulder. And breathe. And turn to the front. Inhale the hands up. Half split now. Straighten out that front leg. Take the bum backwards. Bring the hands to your chest and then immediately take your hands behind you like airplane wings as you lower your chest towards your thigh, pulling back on that heel, lifting the toes back, feeling that tension in the back of that front leg and lifting your arms up. So really activating through the trapezius as well. Bend through the front knee, take the hands to the floor. Lift the left knee off of the mat, low lunge. Step back, downward dog. Inhale through to plank. We're not going to the floor. What we're going to do is pull our tummy button in, slowly lower the pelvis towards the floor, drawing the shoulders back, lifting the head slightly, looking forwards into a high upward dog. Put your tummy button in, inhale, downward dog. Do that again. So inhale here. On the exhale, come forwards, drawing the belly button in, lowering the pelvis to the floor, drawing the shoulders back, looking forwards. Inhale, lift up. Couple of breaths here. And then dropping your right knee to the floor, to step the left foot to the top of the mat. Inching the right knee backwards, push into the left foot, come upright, draw your core in, inhale your hands up. Exhale into this present lunge, bringing your hands to your chest, and then a twist around to the left. Elbow comes towards the knee, and then turn, look back over your or towards your left shoulder, as far as you can go with this. And release, turn to the front, lift the hands up nice and high. Exhale, come into half split as you slowly start to straighten out, extend through that front leg. Lean forward and then draw your arms behind you. Squeezing your shoulder blades together as you pull back onto that straight leg, that extended leg, pulling the toes back, feeling the tension. Bend the front knee, drop the hands down, lift the back knee off of the mat and step to the top of the mat. Let your arms dangle, draw your core in, slowly roll to standing, top of your mat. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the hands out nice and wide. Weight down into your right foot, lift your left foot off of the mat, come up to standing start. And we take a twist here, so right hand onto the outside of your left foot, left knee, and then turning, looking back towards your left hand. Obviously, if you want to take the foot and go with a deeper representation of standing staff. See where you are with this. Keep the movements nice and slow and steady and smooth. All the way back, standing staff. Palms come down onto your chest, lean forward, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, the hands up nice and high. Exhale, lunge dip. This time arms come out nice and wide. Breath in, lift up, lunge twist to the right on the exhale, turn through the right, extending the arms out all the way. Breath in, turn to the front, rotate that back heel, find warrior two. And breath in, reverse warrior, breath out, side angle. Take a breath in here in side angle. Forearm can come down or on the thigh. And once you're in side angle, breath in here. On a breath out, just sweep the arm down. Inhale it up behind us and then draw it forwards. Look down at the floor, lift the back heel and draw both arms behind you for aeroplane. Going to go to balance in Superman. So stepping up onto that front foot, find the balance. Stay here. You drop out of it, come back into it, stay focused on the floor, really working that standing leg, standing hip, that whole kinetic chain, the ankle to the hip socket. Drop the hands to the floor, floating that left foot all the way to the back of the mat into lunge. Step the right leg back, three-legged dog. Breath out, downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, upward dog on your toes. So lowering the pelvis down, pull the tummy button in, draw the shoulders back, look forwards. Inhale, lift up, downward dog. Look up between the hands, bend the knees. On your toes, walk to the top of the mat. And then slowly, your arms dangling, roll up with control, core engaged, and find standing start. So draw the arms out nice and wide. This time, left foot on the floor, lift the right knee up, that waist height or even higher, and then taking your left hand across and find a twisting staff here. Again, going with whatever you've got in your balance, in your body, your balanced brain. Don't worry if it's not there yet, it'll come. It will come with practice. Everything comes with practice. Come back to standing staff. Stepping that right foot to the back of the mat into a high lunge here with a breath in and a lunge dip, arms out nice and wide. Breath in, lift up. Take a lunge twist to the left, extending the arms out. Breath in, turn to the front. Warrior two, ground the back heel. Float the arms down, the breath out. When you're ready to breathe in, reverse warrior, lifting that front arm up, going for height. And breath out into side angle, reaching forwards, forearm on thigh or hand on the inside, and drawing that right arm up. Breath in here. As you breathe out, that arm floats to the floor. Breathe it in behind you and breathe it up in front of you. And looking down at the floor, lifting the back heel, drawing that right arm back. Aeroplane wings now into aeroplane. Maybe a couple of baby steps with that back foot so you can find Superman balance on this side as you take flight. And take a moment just to get your balance here, your stability, your breath, your focus, and then stay and enjoy the flight. Just feeling the work going on in that standing leg, the ankle, the knee, the hip all working in unison together, and your brain, proprioception, knowing where the body is in space and working it all out, making thousands of decisions in split seconds. Start to get some fatigue building up here, but we're okay. Drop your hands to the floor, floating that right foot to the back of the mat into lunge. When you're ready, stepping that left leg all the way back up, three-legged dog. Exhale that foot to the floor. Inhale through to plank. Exhale to the ground. Inhale into locust, arms down the side of the body. Another back bend here, looking down at the floor. And release to the floor. Hands either side of your ribs, push up and back into child as you lengthen through the body here. Drawing back on those fixed hands, stretching that through your spine. And then slowly make your way up into tabletop. Bring the hands backwards. And they're going to turn our hands around. See how you go with this. Point the fingers back towards the knees. You might need to bring the shoulders forwards of the wrists to get your palms grounded, or walk the fingers back towards the knees. Get your palms grounded, fingers pointed backwards. And what we're going to do is gently tuck the toes in, maybe. Gently lean, rock backwards a little bit. Just go to that point in your wrists where you feel that tension, okay? Wherever that might come for you, just rock into that tension and back it off. Nice and gently, not really forcing it, not going too far into the red, but enough to feel the movement through your carpal tunnel and the stretch through the wrists, through the forearms. Do this a few times, particularly if you have been on the keyboard a lot. Okay, and then turn the hands, the fingers face forwards, knees hip width apart, tuck the toes in, sit back onto your raised heels, lean back on those raised heels and shake your wrists off here. Hands up nice and high, pull your core in, palms together, cross the thumbs and lean back a little bit on your toes. Feel that tension here. Over, release, hands to the floor, keeping your toes on the floor, push into your toe knuckles, bring your knees together. See how you go with this. You can stay on your fingers here. This is absolutely fine, but using the toes and balls of the feet, the front of the feet to balance. If you have got the stability here, bring your hands to your chest, soften your shoulders and find the balance here. Not going to go anywhere from here, not going to do anything like stand up, come down. Can if it's in your yoga and your practice. I'm simply going to stay here and feel the stability of my body. Good, and then come all the way down onto your knees once more. Walk the hands forwards. Going to lift into a downward dog to get the movement back through the knees here. Just pedal out the legs here. Going to come down onto our bottoms. You can do this any way you want. If you're really into your Ashtanga, maybe the jump through. And then coming down onto your lower back. Bring your knees in, hug your knees, squeeze and release your knees. Just to massage through the lower back. And then take the hands behind the legs, little back roll here up through the spine. Roll up to boat. Okay, could be a grounded boat, could be a floating boat. But draw your core in, flatten your ribs wherever you are. Take your hands out in front of you. A breath in here. We move on the exhale, pull our core in. On the exhale, float the arms up. Inhale back. So position in the body so it really starts to work hard. Inhale back. On the exhale, pull everything in tight. That nice corset muscle which wraps around your core. Exhale coming up. Inhale down. And one more. Inhale down. Bring your hands to the chest. Twist around to the right. Take a couple of breaths here. And twist around to the left. Come back to the front. Cross your ankles, bend your knees. Come up into an upright seated position. Lean back behind your sit bones, find boat again. Then cross your ankles the other way, bend your knees and come back up. Upright position. Okay. So straighten the legs out in front of you. Step in the right leg over the left leg and take a twist here. So you've got a choice here. In fact, we're going to go the other way. So still staying with your right leg over your left leg. You can wrap your left arm around, position your right hand behind you to keep upright in the spine and twist. Or if you've got the flexibility, the elbow, the left elbow comes on the outside of that right leg. And again, right hand behind to lift up through the spine and use the leverage there of that hand. So points to note here, sit bones grounded if they can. Don't lean back in a twist. Try to keep the body, the spine at least vertical. Pull that straight leg toes in if you can to activate through the back of the leg and use the bind. Breathe into the tops of the ribs. Just squeeze all the way around. And let go. Straighten out the other leg. And I'll pivot around here. So left leg over right leg. Hug it in. You can hug it with your right hand. Take the left hand behind for stability, support, and twist. Or if you've got that range of movement, to tuck your elbow in. Again, supporting your spine upright through the spine here with your left hand. And use that leverage to twist around, look back across your left shoulder. Pull in your right toe in and stay in here. There's a lot of tension in the body here, thinking about grounded sit bones, about the spine coming upright, squeezing around as deeply as you can. Maybe you get some clicking, some crackling, some popping in your spine. If it doesn't hurt, that's okay. I get it just in one direction. It's really weird, but it's quite nice. Be your own chiropractor. I don't got anything about doing chiropractors out of a business, but twists are really good for the health of your spine. And release out of that. Okay, straighten the legs out in front of you. A little bit of a sit bone shuffle here. Okay, so walking forwards on your sit bones. Try to get the pelvis rotating forwards, nice and flat through your lower back as you lean forwards here. Chest and chin is quite high. Reach the hands forwards. You can see that sit and reach where I'm reaching forward. My lower back isn't rounding. I'm not flexing my spine. I'm actually rotating out of my pelvis, out of my hip sockets. I find some tension in the back of my legs. Sometimes with people, the knees will lift a bit. The hamstrings are tight. That's what we're looking for, a bit of hamstring tension. Keep the chest, the chin high and bring the chest forward. So it's a forward bend, not a downward bend. Bring the chest forwards and enjoy that sensation of tension in the backs of your legs. And then using your breath. So very, very nice, slow exhalations, lightly sighing into the back of your throat, closing your eyes, navigating array through the sensations in your body and feeling okay about those sensations as you release each slow breath out. Softening any collateral tension in your body, any reflexive contractions. Developing that technique of breath in the posture. In and out through the nose, into the belly if you can. And each time you breathe out, the body releases. So you go a little bit further without forcing it, without bouncing it, pulling the toes back to get the gastroc muscles lengthening across the back of the knees. Staying connected with what's going on in your body. Not being judgmental if you're really tight, just feel that tension and breathe it away. Doesn't matter where you go, what it looks like. It matters what it feels like. Over time, the body will release.
and you'll find deeper tensions. And then you go to work with the breath here. Slowly coming all the way out of that forward bend. Take your hands behind you, bend your knees, plant your feet down, push into the mat with your feet, lift your pelvis off of the mat, nice and flat through the back, let the head drop back in line with the spine into reverse tabletop. Stay here. Driving your tummy button up. And come back down. Roll onto your lower back and give your lower back a hug here. Drop your feet to the floor. Send your feet, your heels to the bottom of the mat. Let your feet flop out to the side. Take your arms away from the mat. Rest the arms down comfortably on the floor. Lift the head, tucking your chin in, rest your head comfortably on the floor. And simply stay here for the next few moments with your breath. And find a sense of release across your whole body. Feel connected with whatever's going on, whatever sensations are being fed back, whatever noises occur between the ears, whatever the breath is doing. Stay here, focused, centered, grounded. Allowing the body to now rest and release.